Welcome to the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, where rude mechanicals do magic. Hello, I'm Bronze Age, Director of the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage, and today we're going to talk about the realities of working in a small shop. And the tape says 29 feet and 1 inch. We'll call that 13 feet even. When you take into account the walking space through the lab, we have about 300 square feet of usable space with a ceiling that's just a little short of 9 feet high. When the new lab was being organized, the general principle was conserve floor space, consume wall space. This meant that anything that could be hung on a wall and be readily accessible, that's the way it was stored. Anything too big to hang on the wall gets put on wheels so it can be pushed against the wall. For good mobility, you need swivel casters at all 4 corners. That lets you maneuver it easily and you can pack them in close together when they're parked. My first design had fixed casters on the front, which made it sort of like driving a forklift. It got really frustrating because every time I went to park it, I had to pull it in and out and in and out 3 or 4 times just to edge it over to get as much space as possible. The swivel caster base is wider than the fixed caster, so I had to make an adapter plate to put them on. The jack is actually made from a Harbor Freight 4-inch clamp. After I had them all made and tried them out, I discovered I really didn't need them because I have yet to have anything pushed through the saw blade that was going to move the saw across the floor. There's even wheels on the Ryobi folding bench, which of course means it can't be folded anymore. But they come off easy enough if we have to do some kind of work outside the shop. One thing I like about the Ryobi bench is that the pipes are 1 3/4 inches. They're exactly 5 1/4 inches apart, so it makes it really easy to make fixtures for all the other medium-sized tools in the shop. The Delta planer is a little heavy to be putting up on the wall, but it sits fine right here. It'd be nice if the lab was like one of those toolboxes that holds 100 tools and you can pull one tool out without touching any of the others, but that was never realistic. This is the Craftsman King Sealy lathe. It's about a 1950 model, and it's the heaviest tool yet to be put on the Ryobi folding bench. The arrows show the correct position for the clamp, which saves a lot of time when getting it lined up. The tilted legs for the Ryobi folding bench make the geometry look pretty complicated for the caster blocks. But the trick is to make the blocks and then put the cross member between them. When tilting the bench, either up or down, you definitely don't want it to be rolling across the floor. Caster brakes for this kind of situation are pretty much useless. You just simply can't trust them to hold every time. The solution was this bumper on the back of the caster block. It catches the floor and holds it tight until it's laid down. When I said everything was on wheels, I was serious. I took a good lesson from Mr. Pete 222, your YouTube shop teacher, a few years ago when he posted a video about purchasing a small metalworking lathe. These lathes come in two varieties, the one where the speed is changed by pulling a lever, and the kind where the speed is changed by taking it apart and changing the gears, arranging them just so, and then putting it all back together. And his basic advice was, don't buy the one with the gears you have to change. He said that whatever you're doing, you will find any excuse not to change the speed of the lathe if you have to change the gears. Now that means that you're not going to do as good a job. It may take longer to do. You may avoid the job altogether. So his point was, don't make the job so hard that you either don't do it right or you don't do it at all. Now, by all rights, the Craftsman King Sealy lathe should have its own stand, and it should be on rollers, and it should be against the wall with the table saw and the radial arm saw. And if the shop was 2 feet longer, 2 feet wider, it probably would be. But as it is, I was able to take a machine tool with a footprint so big by so big and turn it into a footprint this big by this big. And it only takes about a minute to be completely set up. All the tools in one place, go right here on this table by the lathe, and I'm ready to go to work. And so that is the reality of working in a small shop. Stuff has to be put up so it's out of the way while you're working, but it has to be easily accessible and quick to use, or else you're going to avoid using it. So, this is Bronze Age for the Secret Underground Laboratory Recovery and Salvage. I thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. We'll have more videos coming soon.